Today I want to share with you a story of a youngish girl who was in her late 20s.
Okay.
She went for this beautiful pre-wedding photo shoot in the Middle East somewhere. Everyone is really happy, looking forward to a big destination wedding about a month later. And when she woke up the next morning after having arrived, she realized that she can't get out of bed. And I was also thinking about what the to-be husband might feel. I mean, would you be willing to get married to somebody if you knew that this person is not going to be able to move their legs for their whole life?
Yeah.
It's easy to say, oh yes, of course I would do it.
Yeah.
He just said, I love her very much. Please do whatever you can to help her. And then 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, immediately we took her to the operation theatre, made an incision down her back, removed that little piece of bone, removed that blood clot. The spinal cord jumped back.
Was she able to move her legs?
She was not able to move her legs.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of Brainpickings with Dr Mazda Turel. We are in the Valentine's week and love is in the air. So, Dr. Mazda, do you have a story to share with us that befits this occasion?
Happy Valentine's Day to you. But there are so many stories that we become a part of
Right.
in neurosurgery. So many stories of love, so many stories of longing, so many stories of grief, which is also part of love. And today I want to share with you a story of a youngish girl who was in her late 20s.
Okay.
She nowadays everybody has pre-wedding photo shoots, right?
Right. Yeah. That's the trend.
And she went for this beautiful pre-wedding photo shoot in the Middle East somewhere
Okay.
and did a lot of that stuff and had a great time, and then returned to Mumbai. Everyone is really happy, looking forward to a big destination wedding about a month later.
Okay.
And when she woke up the next morning after having arrived, she realized that she can't get out of bed.
Oh.
She had absolutely no ability to move her legs. Initially, she couldn't move her ankles, and she vomited again. Then she realized she can't move her legs, and then the thighs, and it kept going up.
Okay.
And she was completely shocked, no sensations in the leg.
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
Okay.
And they visited their local doctor, who smartly enough got an MRI done, and then gave me a call saying that I have this young girl, and the MRI shows something ominous. It looked like there was a spontaneous bleed or hemorrhage inside the spinal cord. It wasn't inside the spinal cord. It was between the bone and the dura.
Okay.
What we call as an epidural hemorrhage.
Okay.
We see this often in the brain, what is also known as an extradural hematoma.
Okay.
Sometimes, and most often, it's related to an injury. When you have an accident and a blood vessel ruptures and it causes compression on the dura, and that can cause symptoms in the brain. But she had it in the spinal cord, but she had no injury whatsoever.
Right. Nothing happened, no accident.
No accident.
No fall.
No fall. Sometimes when you have this sudden onset neurological deficit, let's say in the legs, it can be a condition called as transverse myelitis, where it's an inflammation that happens in the spinal cord and you lose function. Sometimes there's another condition called as Guillain-Barré syndrome, or GBS, that you might have heard of, in which, again, there's a viral affliction of the nerves of your body and you lose function either in the hand or leg, sometimes even in the face and speech. But this girl didn't have any of those things. She had a definite pathology in the spinal cord, and there was a large hematoma or a blood clot that was pressing against the spinal cord, responsible for her function, functional loss in her lower limbs.
But that hematoma develops suddenly?
Yeah, it's very unusual.
Right. Or was it over
I've
a
seen it
period
only
of time?
twice before.
Right.
It
No,
may develop over time,
yeah.
but the brain and the spinal cord both have a little bit of a threshold
Okay.
to tolerate or withstand some amount of injury.
Okay.
And then beyond that tipping point, you get a sudden collapse.
Okay.
Even in the brain can withstand some amount of pressure that builds up, and you may not have symptoms. But when it crosses a certain tipping point, you suddenly become unconscious, or you suddenly develop or go into a coma or any of those things. But till then, there is some amount of resilience that the human body offers.
Right. No, my thing was that if there was no fresh injury, that she had no
Yes, it
fall,
was a
nothing,
sometimes what
then
happens is that you can have
is it an
aneurysm
yeah?
or a vascular malformation that ruptures inside
Right.
the
Okay.
spinal cord, and that
Okay.
can cause this. So there is a myriad of
Yeah.
conditions that can explain this. But
Which
this lady had a compressive thing on the spinal cord, and they came from somewhere far. And when I saw her, it was quite late in the evening, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
I'd
saw her
already
immediately the next day.
not the next day, the same day she
The
came
same
to the
day.
emergency.
Okay.
Now, these are things that can't wait. I already operated on 2 cases and I was ready to go home. It was about 8ish.
Okay.
And there's this whole family she's come with. She's come almost her makeup still on from her photo shoot.
Yeah, it was so bad.
And
Yeah.
the photo shoot was not so bad. It
No,
was
no,
good.
of course. What I mean was
no
that,
time to,
yeah,
really.
the condition was so bad. Yeah.
And she's just lying there looking at me, wondering how her entire life has changed
In an instant.
in a
Yeah.
moment of a second.
Yeah.
We keep hearing about these things,
Yeah.
stories of people are fraught with this ideology that your whole life can change in a moment.
Yeah.
And it's happened to people, and we never imagine that it'll happen to us.
Yeah.
Like, we'll never imagine, nobody ever predicts that they will be in an accident where their life will have changed. They will have an aneurysm that has ruptured in their brain where their life will change completely. We never expect these things until they eventually happen to us. And so there she was lying over there, her entire family very, very concerned.
Yeah.
Her to-be husband was still in another country.
Okay.
He hadn't traveled back with the family. He had some engagement.
Okay.
So he wasn't there.
Hmm.
And I said, listen, this is what the MRI shows. We don't know why it's bled. We don't know what's inside. It's very difficult to ascertain the real cause. But all I know is that if we don't do an operation now, not few hours later, not the next day, not after any kind of consultation with other people, there's a high chance that she will never be able to move her legs.
So by that time, how much time must have passed when she first noticed that there was no sensation? What do you
When
think
she woke up
about-
in the morning,
Yeah.
she noticed no sensation.
Yeah,
By
it's about
evening,
12
she
hours.
was in the hospital. She'd already seen a local doctor. They'd already got an MRI done. They'd done all of that. And
Right.
she traveled a distance of about 2 hours by car to come and see me.
And the wedding was due in the next
1 month or so.
Okay. Okay.
And so I told the family that you have to have an urgent operation.
Yeah.
We're going to go inside, remove a little bit of the bone covering the spinal cord, and remove that hematoma or that blood clot and relieve the pressure from the spinal cord.
Yeah.
If we find anything that is responsible for that bleeding, we'll either deal with it then or we will plan a strategy to deal with it later. But unless we remove the pressure, unless you remove pressure from neural tissue as early as possible, we don't have a time frame as to when it improves.
What could have happened? What could have gone wrong had she been late to come to you and the pressure would have been built up gradually? What could go wrong?
I mean, even if she's come within the first 12 hours, we don't know if that's already late enough.
Okay.
So nobody understands how soon neurological recovery happens. It depends on how much compression is there, for how long has it been there, what is the resilience of the nervous tissue to bounce back, all of those complicated thoughts. But the bottom line is that unless you don't remove that compression, there's no chance that it's going to improve on its own.
Okay.
And whenever you tell patients that we need to rush you to the operation theater now, patients usually tend to be slightly speculative. Why does a doctor want to operate? Can't we wait? Can't we think about some other option? Could this improve? So we have to again have all those discussions, and that is also time consuming. We have to explain to the family, and so many thoughts are going on now. I myself don't know if this girl is going to, even after an emergency operation, going to move her legs. And I was also thinking about what the to-be husband might feel. I mean, would you be willing to get married to somebody if you knew that this person is not going to be able to move their legs for their whole life? I mean, you've imagined a beautiful life, going on holidays, going on vacation. This is someone you've given your heart to, but you've never expected
something like this would
the
happen.
anatomy of an illness to intersect with your geometry of grief. And what would you do if, let's say, your husband, to-be husband, you realize 1 month before your wedding is paralyzed? Would you get married to him? I would not. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't think that's the right. That's there's no right or wrong answer. Everybody has a personal decision to make.
And one cannot really question one's love. I mean, no matter how deep your love is, but
I mean, however deep your love is, if you realize that you're going to have to tend to this person for the rest of your life, it's easy to say, oh yes, of course I would do it. And the love is the greatest thing there is, and that is why
love is blind.
We are celebrating Valentine's Day, and love is blind, love is deaf, love is dumb, love is paraplegic, love is quadriplegic, love is coma, love is all of those things. And are you able to accept that this could be
when the heart tells you something but the mind contradicts, and then you have a play between the heart and the mind. Okay, my heart is saying yes, but my mind like, okay, just listen, just think about it, just so that is what happens, I think.
I mean, everybody should try and answer that question for themselves, that it may not happen to 99% of people. I had a patient, sorry to digress, but I had a patient with I still remember, this couple was dating for about 8 years. And they planned to get married.
Okay.
And they set a date for themselves.
Okay.
For 3 months later.
Okay.
And 3 months before the wedding date, he had a seizure. And when they got an MRI done, it showed a stage 4 brain cancer. And they came to me with an MRI film. And I said, this is stage 4 brain cancer. You need to operate on it. But as we know it, the survival of stage 4 brain cancer is about 1 to 2 years. There are some outliers that live 3 to 5 years. There are some outliers that live shorter than a year. But that's the best you'll get from it. And the couple looked at me and said, we're planning to get married in 3 months.
What did the girl do?
So, these are such hard questions to answer, such hard decisions to make. And yet, it's surprising that people are making it all the time. And so they got married. They had the operation.
Okay.
They got married. They went on a honeymoon. He had radiation. He had chemotherapy. They had a child. And he passed away 3 years later. So there are so many such stories of love and longing and grief that we can just have a Valentine's Day year instead of a Valentine's Day week episode.
Sure.
But anyways, let's get back to this girl. So she's in the emergency room. The whole family is there. Everyone's more or less dressed. Right? They half makeup on, all of that stuff. I've already given instructions to the operation theater to get the theater ready. They are still taking their time to decide whether we should go ahead with surgery. The to-be husband calls me and said, "Boss, what's going on?"
How come suddenly you
And
decide
now I'm thinking whether he's deciding in his head whether, again, these are my thoughts, obviously not his, whether, he's contemplating on whether he should be getting married to someone who's not going to be able to move her legs for the rest of her life. I said, this is what it is. We have to remove the pressure. If it improves, it improves. If it doesn't improve, he just said, I love her very much. Please do whatever you can to help her. And I said, of course. And then 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, immediately we took her to the operation theater, made an incision down her back, removed that little piece of bone, removed that blood clot. The spinal cord jumped back into position. And, it was badly compressed. It was like someone sitting on it. And we finished the operation. And she woke up and I spoke to the family saying, we've done whatever was supposed to be done. Now we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Was she able to move her legs?
She was not able to move her legs. The same evening of the operation, zero, nothing. The next day, I went and saw her in the ward, again zero. No movement whatsoever. So then everyone's becoming a little antsy.
Yeah.
What's happening? Husband kept calling, Dr. Saab, you said we should do the operation. We did the operation, but there's no improvement. So a nice chirpy little girl, smiling, happy, still not completely dejected with life. And
hopeful as well.
And then the next day she had a little bit
great
of
movement.
a flicker in her toes.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm saying hi to you with my toes. And then a couple of days later, she started moving her ankle and then her knee.
Amazing. So slowly progress.
Slowly she started having sensation back.
Yeah.
Then 1 week later, we discharged her. She could walk with a walker. And a couple of weeks later, she was independently walking.
Wonderful.
And
in time for wedding.
In time, she was so determined that I'm not going to postpone the wedding.
Yeah.
And then she laid down another condition that I'm not having the wedding if you're not coming for it. So we spent a weekend in Udaipur.
Wonderful.
And it was lovely to see her being able to dance into her own barat, while the husband, who was perfectly okay, came on a horse. They should have switched it around. They should have put her on a horse so she wouldn't have to walk. But it was great.
But she had no difficulty. And completely normal, her movement was.
Of course, we did an angiogram to check if was there anything that was causing the bleed. But it's been a few years now. And she's still married.
You came in as divine intervention.
Married happily ever after.
Yeah.
Or so they say.
I'm sure. Great. But I have a question that does the pressure that was built up on the spinal cord, can it recur? Can it occur again? Because as you said, there was no real reason and it just happened. Can it happen any other time again? Is there a possibility?
That's a good question. There are so many things in medicine for which we don't have an answer for. And I keep joking with my friends that nobody really knows anything. And most of what we practice is based on speculation, and they keep saying that you're a useless doctor. But it is true. If you really look at it, there's a very famous saying by a guy, and it said that and I'm paraphrasing, I don't know the exact quote, but there's very little that we know. And it's astonishing how much of it passes off as knowing.
Yeah.
समझ में आया?
True. Yes. Yes.
So,
Very pertinent. Yeah.
so we don't know why these things happen. Sometimes why are they sudden when you can't find an anatomical,
Yeah.
structural pathology. But
But
some
it's
of the,
frustrating also at sometimes,
it's
no?
frustrating, but I mean, I guess that is what keeps the mystery of the universe alive, right?
Yeah.
You see so many of these people seeking so many answers to all of
Yeah.
the universe's questions
Yeah.
and trying to do all sorts of things and coming up with so many different answers. And I guess that's what keeps the human mind, the human brain always in quest and always curious. And of course, we've made giant leaps in our understanding of so many things.
Yeah.
And quantum jumps in science have been made, and that's why we've been able to live life well. But there still seems to be a plethora of things that we have absolutely no idea about. And I guess that's the beauty, right?
Right.
What's
Yeah.
the point? If we had
Otherwise.
answers to all the questions of life, we wouldn't want to live.
And especially in, I think, I mean, you must have noticed it as well, especially in such cases wherein I think love plays a tremendous role. I mean, the willingness. This girl really wanted to see to it that the wedding date does not get postponed. And
Yeah.
it is also that, the bond between the two, and how he said, I love her so much. Please, please,
Yeah.
get her on her feet as soon as possible. And I think that plays a lot of big role in recovery, in,
I think so. Yeah. I
yeah,
think love is a great healer. It creates wonderful moments together, and it helps patients recover dramatically.
right.
And belief and faith in the fact that love will cure
And love
is
will triumph.
and love will triumph is, while mostly mythological, also works very often.
Right. On that note, love is a great healer. Thank you for watching.
Happy Valentine's
Happy
Day.
Valentine's Day to all.